I'm back. Part two. This is, you guys, I've been trying for weeks to get these lives down to time, to have a smooth, finish out. I just can't make it happen. It's fun. You know what? I think because the conversations are just so smooth and healthy and organic, and people just, they want to know, you know what I mean? They want to learn. So we were talking about, we were just pivoting out of you being on the singles project. Thank you so much, Carmisha. Thank you. And talking about, love and marriage and commitment. You spoke about, freezing your eggs. And for those who are just joining, this is the second part of this interview with Erica Pittman, marketing architect. She is best known for spending about about a decade working with Sean Combs, the iconic Sean Combs, Bad Boy for Life. She was the head woman in charge over there. And so... Oh, no, there were a few head women in charge. Quite a few. No, I said one of. I don't want to say the, but, one of. To be a part of that is just an amazing, jewel in her crown, that she wears and navigates the world in. She has a new book out. Yeah, What Mommy Never Told You. This book is a page turner. You guys have to get this book. It will benefit you regardless of where you are, what career you're in. And it doesn't matter what career level you're at. This book will serve as a compass for you in some way. And so we were talking about the book. We spoke about Erica growing up in East New York, having her mom, her auntie, and her grandmother to surround her and undergird her and be her buttress. We spoke about her, not attending Spelman and how that ended up, really working in her favor, which is pretty phenomenal. And now we're just kind of fast forwarded to, talking about the total, work-life balance and, marriage and commitment and having children. So how do we find time, Erica, to date, and balance that in these really, high-stake careers that we have? I'm living my dream. You're living your dream. Yeah. And we do it out loud. I know for myself, dating is really difficult. Now, is it difficult because you don't have the time, or because you're not necessarily finding qualified candidates? It's the latter, because I'll make time. The latter as well. It's really the qualified candidates. It's just, the dating pool is very, listen, I think it's interesting, and I think a lot of people that are listening should pay attention to this, because what I've zeroed in on in my life is that our lives go through these life cycles, right? You have these experiences. Everyone's graduating from college because you're 22. And then, 4 or 5 years later, all of your friends are getting engaged suddenly. And you have all these weddings and bridal showers to go to. Then all of a sudden you have this wave of baby showers that you're going to. And I think, we go through these flows of life cycles in our peer groups. And the life cycle that I'm currently in is people are in their marriages. Yeah. I'm in an age group where second marriages are a real option just yet. Unfortunately, I have so many couples that I know that are still married, thank God, but some of them are getting divorced. And it is this is like the era of divorce for me now at this age. And so what I think is happening for me as a single woman is that the dating pool is just different. It's very slim because most people are married. And then we have these unique requirements of a relationship at this point. As I've settled into my lifestyle, and I have wants and needs that are very different than they were 10 years ago. So it's not for me making time for dating as much as it is finding qualified partners and people that I would want to embark on a serious relationship with. Yeah. A friend of mine recommended that I, hire a professional dating assist. It's not an idea. I've never done it. Let's do it together. Wait, let's do it together. We're checking, how's it going with you? But it's hard now because you have COVID-19. Well, let me tell you, I actually interviewed for It's Just Lunch. I did it. Oh, wow. I did it maybe 3 years ago. And it was funny because
they asked me if I was willing to lie about my age so that I could fit into a pool of qualified candidates. Because if I say I'm 41 at the time, I'm 44 now. If I say I'm 41, when they do an age range for what a gentleman might be looking for, they're cutting it off at 40.
Yeah.
Right? They're 25 to 40. Let's call it that, right? So the pool of qualified candidates, if you will, kind of you get usurped out of that. But then the other bit was I could just pay to go on these dates. And the idea of me paying tens of thousands of dollars to have dates just seemed counterintuitive to me. I just said, I just probably need to go to the park. I probably don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars to find a date. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely cannot. That's the part I can't reconcile. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, my sister's like, I'm making you a dating profile on such and such. Like, our girlfriends are like, you should sign up. You know, I did it. And I'm like, well, are you married yet? And they're like, oh, but I'm meeting some really, really great men. And, you know, I don't want that to be commonplace, you know, for me. I do really like to meet men in a very organic way. I think, though, I am at a place where I am definitely open to dating outside of my race for the first time ever, you know, in my life. It's like I have to open the net.
You have to cast. I agree.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
Please hook it up, Gwendolyn. Please. That's my really good friend, Arlene Noel. So for me, I certainly believe in, and people are going to disagree, but dating outside of your race. I have dated outside of my race. I would like to marry an African-American man. I would love to. It'd be wonderful. But I had to stop and ask myself, how long am I supposed to wait for this to show up in the way that I thought it was supposed to show up? I believe that I could be an open-minded person and have an open heart and meet the person that is meant for me, and perhaps that person might not be my color. That was my rationale. So I have dated outside of my race, and it's been fine. But I'm not against it. But again, it's slim pickings.
Yeah. Someone said it's great to hear you're widening your net. You know, I said open. She said widen, because my net be like, I don't know you. We got the same friends, Papa. I come from a very, close-knit, very strict family. And it's just like, my daddy want to know his daddy and his daddy's daddy's daddy. You know what I mean? So, black men treat other women like trophies. So, at the end of the day, it's like you have to have a healthy narrative, a healthy outlook. You know, the bottom line is, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. We all come to the canvas of love, needing understanding and needing patience and needing kindness. First of all, as a human being, number one, and then as a journalist, and being a woman, it's very hard for me to make these broad brushstrokes, these sweeping indictments, about groups, about this sex versus that sex. I know it's easy. We have a lot of pain and we want to lash out and we want to be like, they're doing this. One thing that you spoke about, Erica, in the book that I absolutely loved is you spoke about how you had to show up to love differently, and show up to really reduce, and I'm paraphrasing here, reduce and omit the level of expectations, because people can only love you until they know better, how they can love you. You know what I mean? And the way that they're capable of loving you may not be what you had in your mind's eye. You know what I mean? So let's talk a little bit about that, and then like we can, really start to wrap this up, because this could be a whole another hour talking about love.
The Willie Lynch letter, and I can't tell you how many dinner conversations I've had over the Willie Lynch letter. That's probably another live that we need to do. So yes, we probably should put a pin in deep dive relationship conversations. But yeah, I think we are, and that is why I think Tanisha's saying we have to be more gentle with our community, with our men. I love Black men. I support Black men. I cheerlead them. I fight for them like nobody's business. So, ideally that is what I want for my future. But, if it shows up differently, I'm open. I'm just open to the possibilities of my life. And I'm not going to restrict myself with, some dated rules around the way I should live my life.
Right. And Kamisha, I feel compelled to tell you that, to make a choice to date outside of your race, is opening yourself up for love. We talk about God's love, for those of us who are believers in God. I am a believer in God. I am a believer in God's perfect love, his sovereign love. And so to make a choice is to say, you know what, I believe in this love, that God has promised me, this love that God has promised my life, for my life, in my life, and through my life, and so that means, I'm willing to break away, right, from this little small idea of what I have about what this love is going to look like, and saying, well, I'm going to date outside of my race because Black men make other women, trophy. Me choosing to date outside my race, has nothing to do with, taking a sting at Black men or anything like that. It's about me opening my heart up to really wanting love in my life, and to not limit myself to what that looks like, with a man from a different race, is all I'm saying, So you guys, I'm sorry, Eve?
I couldn't have said it better. Spot on.
Yeah. Thank you, Brother Warren. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's about focusing on abundance. So, yeah, this was a great conversation. You guys, I've had the good pleasure of having this dynamic thought leader, Erica Pittman, engage me today on my platform.
Thank you.
This is also, I'm going to mirror this content, and get it also on Black in America. So I'm going to run it also on blackinamerica.com. So it'll be evergreen, here to last for you guys to be able to refer to. Get this book, because the last I was on Amazon, there were only 10 left, y'all. So
We'll make sure there's more for you guys. There's enough.
Yeah. So you guys get this book. What Mommy Never Told You is such a perfect title. Being so many of us, too many of us are still, first generation, to graduate from college, first generation, to invest money, first generation to travel the world and have passports. There's still a lot of firsts within the Black community. And sometimes the path isn't lit, and Erica is definitely, one of the Black women out there, who's lighting the way. If there is an audiobook,
it's coming. I have to record it, guys. I have not recorded the audio yet, but I'm working on that now. The ebook should be out in another maybe 3 weeks, but I think the hard copy's better.
Yeah. It's just so good.
It's a good book.
Yeah, like, can y'all see my markings? I don't even know if y'all can see my markings in here. But yeah, this book is excellent. It was a joy for me to read. Oh, my classmate from Cheney, Chanel. Chanel's another entrepreneur. She's all about fit life, green life, green eating, green health, green as abundance. So Chanel, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah. Oh yeah. Somebody was like, we see the dog ears. Yeah, the dog. There we go. Look at that, y'all. I was like, wait a second.
Guys, honest to God, I read this book like probably every maybe 4 to 6 weeks. I have to kind of reread it again because I'm trying to memorize exactly where everything is. And every time I read it, I'm like, well, girl, you better preach. Look at this.
Yeah.
Teach me something. I learned stuff from what I wrote. So
I mean, it's like I said to you, I'm like, this is a healing balm, girl, a teaching balm. You know, like we needed this. It's so timely, and you know, it's so perfect to be in quarantine where a lot of us are restructuring brand and, you know, trying to pivot brand and maintain visibility and, you know, what that looks like. This is the perfect book, you know, to have alongside of you.
I know you guys stayed up a little later than usual, and I thank everyone while I still have you for joining in and supporting. And this was no easy feat, but it took 12 years. I got it done. Whatever your dreams are, please, delay is not denial. Continue to pursue your dream, them a reality, because you can bring things to fruition. So just push through.
I love that. She's such a leader. She's like, Tanisha's never going to stop talking.
No, I just want to tell you.
She was like, Tanisha's never going to stop talking. On that note, you guys, this has been so wonderful. This has fed my soul. You know, it is soup for the soul. It is so healing. Get this book. Erica, thank you so much for your time. Continue blessings.
On another topic.
Yeah.
We need again soon.
Yeah, we can do a series of these. We can do a live like once a month, every other month, you know, check in. You know, I definitely want to find a way to get involved with Viola.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, we have the whole Viola Cares initiative, and we're rolling that out in a big way. So I'll definitely keep you in the loop. We can use all the help that we can get.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Again,
thank you guys.
What Mommy Never Told You. Get the book. Thank you so much for tuning in. Continue blessings, everybody. Please continue to follow me on all my social media platforms at Tanisha Laverne Grand. If you want to see a series of my interviews with celebs, profile pieces, red carpet interviews, go to blackinamerica.com, or you can go to my YouTube channel at Tanisha Laverne Grand. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.